wake ndio wanaingia katika ukumbi huu, ambapo miongoni mwa waliohudhuria ni waziri wa mambo ya nje Dr. Stergomena Tax pamoja na waziri wa fedha na mipango Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba. Mtazamaji wa TBC1, tusikilize kinachoendelea ukumbini, ambapo Rais Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan ndio anawasili hivyo, na ameongozana na msafara. Miongoni mwa watu walioongozana nao ni Rais mstaafu wa Zanzibar Dr. Shein.
Can we kindly be seated? Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, honorable ministers from both mainland and Zanzibar, former President of Zanzibar, Mohammed Shein, permanent secretaries, Mr. Nathan Belete, Country Director, World Bank, Tanzania, His Excellency Ahmada El Badawi Mohammed, Ambassador of the Comoros and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Honorable Albert Chalamila, Dar es Salaam Regional Commissioner, heads of defense and security organs, religious leaders, World Bank officials present, leaders of political parties, representatives of higher learning institutions, representatives of the private sector, civil societies and non-governmental organizations, students, media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're also joined by, apart from government, representatives from across the Africa region as well and internationally. This includes human capital focal points as well as World Bank staff from headquarters and country offices abroad. While we're few in the room, in spirit and presence, we have our friends from all around pushing and supporting the message of human capital. To start our program today on the launch of Africa Human Capital Heads of State Summit, I'd like to invite Honorable Dr. Stergomena Tax, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, for welcoming remarks. Karib San.
Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency Dr. Ali Mohammed Shein, former President of the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, Member of Parliament, Minister of Finance and Planning, Honorable Dr. Saada Mkuya, Member of Parliament, Minister of State, President's Office, Finance and Planning, Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar, Honorable Ministers present, Honorable Albert Chalamila, Regional Commissioner for Dar es Salaam, Mr. Nathan Belete, Country Director, World Bank Tanzania, Permanent Secretaries, Excellencies, Head of Diplomatic Missions and International Organizations, Heads of Defense and Security Organs, Government officials, partners from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this special occasion to launch the 2023 Africa Heads of State Human Capital Summit. Your presence here today is a clear indication that we are very ready for a very successful summit in July this year. I take this opportunity to thank you for honoring our invitation and for turning up in big numbers. Excellencies and invited guests, the opportunity of the United Republic of Tanzania to host the Africa Heads of State Human Capital Summit in July 2023 comes as a result of extensive engagement among governments on the need to draw attention to the role of human capital in economic growth and the importance of investing in people. It is also a testimony of Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, commitment to this very important agenda. The summit will enable heads of state to share knowledge and experiences on human capital and come up with a concrete commitment, but also next steps. Distinguished participants, Agenda 2063 seeks to transform Africa into a global powerhouse of the future. This momentous aspiration requires deliberate investment in skills and capacities so as to take advantage of socio-economic opportunities in our respective countries, but also in the continent at large. Human capital development is therefore key to successful implementation of Agenda 2063 and requires massive and coordinated efforts by all African countries. the forthcoming African Head of State Summit on Capital, to be held on the 25th to the 26th of July 2023 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, will be a crucial step in amplifying the human capital agenda in Africa. May I take this opportunity to thank Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for her bold decision to host this very important summit. Your Excellency, decisions to host the summit is a proof of your commitment to continental and international affairs. Excellencies, distinguished participants, my role is just to welcome you. May I once again welcome you all to this launch of which will be officially announced, or will officially announce the summit and rally stakeholders to prioritize investment in Africa's human capital. We are very, very thrilled to be in the presence of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, who will be launching the Human Capital Summit. With these welcoming remarks, I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Stergomena Tax. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Nathan Belete, Country Director, World Bank, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, basically to speak about the context setting of human capital and the summit itself. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, His Excellency, the former President of Zanzibar, Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Minister of Finance of Zanzibar, Honorable Ministers, Regional Commissioner of Dodoma, Permanent Secretaries, government officials that are present, representatives, ambassadors, heads of diplomatic missions, development partners, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Habari za asubuhi. It's a real honor and pleasure for me on behalf of the World Bank to participate in this official launch of the Africa's first ever Human Capital Summit that we are very proud to be associated with the government of the United Republic of Tanzania. Your Excellency, this summit comes at a critical time in African countries recover from the impact of COVID-19, while at the same time facing the impact headwinds due to the multiple crises confronting our region. For this very reason, investing in Africa's human capital, who are largely young, passionate, and ambitious, will be key to equipping them to face the challenges of the future. Africa is a continent of young people. With over 60% of its population below the age of 25, it is the youngest population in the world. Over 70% of Africa's youth today work in the informal sector, while they often earn low wages and have limited opportunities for advancement due to low levels of human capital. While these are significant challenges, this also presents us a unique opportunity for the continent to harness its demographic dividend. For the region to realize this potential, African countries must urgently work to overcome the critical human capital challenges that they are facing. We have seen that governments can succeed by enhanced focus on ensuring children get to school in good health, improving access to and quality of learning and skills, addressing youth unemployment, and promoting gender equality. For example, there is evidence that cash transfer programs have helped more improved lives and prospects of the most vulnerable, particularly children. In Tanzania, the cash transfer programs such as the Productive Social Safety Net program have seen that school enrollment among children increases literacy and improves household incomes. Moreover, visits to the health clinic with children below age 5 were higher in other households, and in PSN households had 3 times higher enrollment in the Community Health Fund. These safety net programs have also empowered women in Tanzania. Impact studies have shown that the program increased the likelihood of women having a say in the use of their own earnings, being the primary decision maker on children's health and education, as well as on household purchases. In addition, we have seen the impacts that investments in upgraded sanitation and hygiene facilities in our primary schools can have. A concerted drive by the government of Tanzania to improve school sanitation and hygiene will reach 1,500 schools in 17 regions by the end of next year. Schools with improved facilities are already reporting a reduced absenteeism due to just availability of water and better menstrual hygiene management. As attendance and participation rates improve, some schools are already observing an upward trend in performance. This shows that it is possible to overcome the human capital challenges our countries are facing through multifaceted interventions. To address these challenges and accelerate progress, it is important that African countries work together with each other, but also work together with all stakeholders, including development partners, civil society organizations, the private sector, and of course the youth themselves for the future. By collaborating and sharing best practices, we can mobilize resources and ideas to foster environments that equip young people to thrive and fully contribute to their country's development. It is encouraging to see the strong strides that are happening on the continent already. Several African countries have made significant progress in improving access to education for young people. Primary school enrollment rate in sub-Saharan Africa increased from 52% in 1990 to 80% in 2019. Again, here in Tanzania, transition from primary to lower secondary improved significantly from 67% in 2016 to 78% today. This is an important achievement. However, we can and must build on this progress and increase the quality and duration of learning so that young people are skilled and equipped to take advantages of today's and tomorrow's jobs and create opportunities for themselves and others. Many African countries have implemented policies aimed at promoting job creation and entrepreneurship among young people. The Africa Union Agenda 2063 includes a goal of creating 100 million jobs for young people by 2025. Let us all strive to turn this aspiration into a reality. To achieve this work, let us work together to overcome the human capital challenges and reap the demographic dividend, which presents, once again, a unique opportunity for Africa to harness the infinite potential of its young population. I would like to conclude by emphasizing yet again how proud we are in the World Bank to be supporting this first African Human Capital Summit under the leadership of Her Excellency President Samia, as this is an important milestone on this journey. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize the delegation of the government of Tanzania to the World Bank IMF spring meetings, in which they made a passionate plea for advancing human capital and achieving all development goals for Tanzania and its African partners. It marks a new and more ambitious phase to accelerate progress on unlocking the full potential of Africa's youth and paving the way for sustained economic growth and transformation. The time to act is now. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nathan Belete, Country Director, World Bank, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. So now we're going to have 2 consecutive video messages. One is from Ms. Victoria Kwakwa, World Bank Vice President, Eastern Southern Africa, And the next one, which will be back-to-back, will be from Mr. Ousmane Diagana, World Bank Vice President, Central and West Africa. Please, can you play the videos?
Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable President Samia, Ousmane and I are excited to join you today from Washington, D.C. The Africa Heads of State Summit on Human Capital comes at a critical time. Overlapping global challenges have reversed decades of progress in human capital outcomes, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. We must act now. Prioritizing investments in people has never been more important. This is especially true for women and girls. Healthier, better educated women and girls have healthier, better educated families, not least because women tend to invest more of their incomes in their children. Equipping women with skills and helping connect people to opportunities will raise living standards and break the cycle of poverty, while spurring broader economic development. As technology is driving transformation in the world, we must equip the workforce with relevant education and skills so that everyone has the opportunity to succeed. In fact, it is estimated that 230 million jobs in Africa will require digital skills by 2030. Closing the gender-digital divide will be critical, as women in many countries are underrepresented in access to digital technologies. While the task at hand seems daunting, I'm optimistic because we've seen progress across the continent, even in the face of multiple adversities. We have the opportunity now, and we must seize it by making smart and effective investments in Africa's greatest resource, its people. I'm looking forward to the summit where we'll agree on concrete actions that will lay the groundwork for Africa's vibrant youth, women and girls to achieve their full potential.
Victoria, I share your view, your sense of concern and urgency, but also optimism. The innovative spirit of our young people are our best assets and hold great promise for our region. But we'll only be able to harness the demographic dividend if youth are equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to realize their full potential. In West and Central Africa, countries face huge challenges for human capital accumulation. This region has the lowest human capital index rating among the World Bank 7 regions. Education systems are in crisis, with an 80% of children under 10 unable to reach a simple text, what we call learning poverty. Conflict setting affects service delivery in many of our countries. The region hosts 7.3 million of refugees and 23 million internal displaced people. But the region also has one of the largest return on education. Achieving universal basic education will translate into a 2.2 times higher GDP per capita. Despite the challenges, countries are innovating and getting results. For example, in Nigeria, the Better Education Service Delivery for All program is partnering with religious schools to introduce basic literacy and numeracy for Al-Majri students, which form the largest portion of out-of-school children in the population. For this reason, our regional strategy seeks to reduce learning poverty, increase girls' secondary education enrollment, and strengthen higher education system to produce more employable graduates. But we will not be able to deliver change without building political momentum in the region. For this reason, this summit will be vital for ensuring that countries accelerate investment in people and ensure a better future for all. Let's invest in the future generation today to transform Africa.
With that, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable President Samia.
Well, that was interesting. Thank you very much. That was Ms. Victoria Kwakwa, World Bank Vice President, East and Southern Africa. And you also heard Mr. Ousmane Diagana, World Bank Vice President, Central and West Africa. So before I welcome the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, let's have a little bit of entertainment. we look a little bit bad. So, and Mpoto is very good in entertaining. Karibu sana Mrisho Mpoto with his theater group. Karibuni sana.
Tija kwa vijana kwa kuboresha mafunzo na ujuzi ili kuharakisha ukuaji wa uchumi wa Afrika. Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake. Afrika na watoto wake, vijana na wanawake. Mungu ibariki Tanzania. Asante Benki ya Dunia kwa kutuunganisha wana Afrika. Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania. Asante Benki ya Dunia kwa kutuunganisha wana Afrika. Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania. Afrika punde itazungumza kwenye ardhi ya Tanzania. Kuhusu umuhimu wa kuwekeza katika rasilimali watu, hasa watoto, vijana na wanawake. Hiyo moja ya nguzo muhimu katika kukuza uchumi na maendeleo ya nchi za Afrika. Asante Benki ya Dunia kwa kutuunganisha wana Afrika. Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania.
Afrika katika kukabiliana na majanga. Karibuni marais wa nchi za Afrika kushuhudia makubwa ya Tanzania. Karibuni Tanzania.
Asante benki ya dunia kwa kutukutanisha wana Afrika.
Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania. Asante benki ya dunia kwa kutukutanisha wana Afrika. Asante Rais Samia kwa kutuheshimisha wa Tanzania. Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi, jana na kesho. Karibuni mwone mlima mrefu barani Afrika.
Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi, jana na kesho. Ni muone visiwa vya marashi ya karafuu Zanzibar.
Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi, jana na kesho.
Ni kwenye ardhi ya amani na utulivu Tanzania.
Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi, jana na kesho. Juzi, jana na kesho. Juzi, jana na kesho. Tanzania yasonga mbele, juzi, jana na kesho. Juzi, jana na kesho. Juzi, jana na kesho. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I did promise they won't disappoint, and I'm sure they didn't. So that's a performance from Mpoto Theatre Gallery Group. So now I'd like to welcome Honorable Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, Minister of Finance and Planning, to welcome the President of the United Republic of Tanzania.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Your Excellency, Dr. Shein, the former President of Zanzibar and the former Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Stergomena Tax, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Dr. Saada Mkuya, Minister of State, Finance and Planning, Zanzibar, my fellow ministers here present, both from mainland and Zanzibar, my brother Nathan Belete, the World Bank Group Country Director for Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe, Chairman of the Budget Committee, I've seen my brother, you can rise up. This is my boss when it comes to the matters of the House. Permanent secretaries and all other government officials here present, both for URT, mainland and Zanzibar. Comrade Albert Chalamila, the Regional Commissioner for Dar es Salaam. Representatives from heads of diplomatic mission and international organizations. Representatives from the private sector here in Tanzania. Religious leaders, comrades from the security organs, representatives from civil societies, and all other members of press, ladies and gentlemen, na wasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. At the outset, I would like to thank the Almighty God for allowing us to meet and witness the official launch of the 2023 Africa Heads of State Human Capital Summit. I personally wish to thank you, Your Excellency,
for accepting the host of the Human Capital Summit in July 2023 here in Dar es Salaam. Your acceptance to host signifies your commitment and dedication to the development of human capital, not only here in Tanzania, but Africa and the world at all. Allow me also to express my sincere appreciation to the World Bank for their innovative ideas convening the Africa Heads of State Summit, Human Capital Summit, that will alleviate deliberations on human capital agenda from the technical political level. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Human Capital Summit is an important forum to bring high-level attention to the challenges facing human capital development in Africa caused by various challenges, including financial needs, investment in our people, growing demographic pressure, youth population with limited job opportunities, skill and labor market mismatch, and others. The summit is expected to provide opportunities to the heads of state to discuss and share their experiences on key actions and deliberations on the commitment toward few focus of priority and development of African human capital. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the World Bank Group has been very instrumental in supporting growth of human capital in Africa. I must admit that all of the financial resources that the government has received from the World Bank, a good share that has been allocated is provided to good health and sanitation services, inclusive and quality education, and enhancing youth skills for opportunity and productivity. Through this summit, I believe the World Bank will scale up their support to African countries and attract more development partners to support African states' progress in support for human capital development. Your Excellency, under your leadership, the government has been able to increase investment in health, education, skills, and life opportunities, which compounds to human capital investment. Tanzanian children and youth will always treasure the legacy of prioritizing investment in the people you have done. And finally, let me take this opportunity to welcome you, Your Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, to officially launch the 2023 Africa Heads of State Human Capital Summit. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa unyenyekevu mkubwa.
Your Excellency, Dr. Ali Mohamed Shein, the former Vice President and the President of Zanzibar, Honorable Ministers here present from both parties of the Union, Permanent Secretaries, the World Bank Country Director, Dr. Nathan Balete, and the members of the World Bank from the headquarters, Excellencies, heads of diplomatic mission and international organizations, representatives from the private sector in Tanzania, representatives from the civil society, government officials, Dar es Salaam Regional Commissioner, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. And it doesn't have its English translation. It's just like that. Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this auspicious occasion to officially launch the 2023 African Heads of State Human Capital Summit. Your presence here today portrays your strong commitment to the human capital development agenda and your readiness to support African governments. It is therefore a great honor for Tanzania to be given an opportunity. Oh, I forgot to, I have addressed you. Okay, and so I was saying it is a great honor for Tanzania to be given an opportunity to host this remarkable event that aims at showcasing and sensitizing African heads of state on the importance of investing in human capital for sustainable economic growth in our continent. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the African Heads of State Human Capital Summit 2023, whose theme is Accelerating Africa's Economic Growth, Boosting Youth Productivity by Improving Learning, Skills and Productivity of Youth. The theme will provide a unique platform, or the summit will provide a unique platform for heads of state to deliberate and share best practices on the role of human capital in driving economic growth and development. Certainly, Africa's human capital endowment is key to the future success, including its potential for economic growth, and indeed, investment in human capital is essential in ensuring people's well-being, enhanced productivity, inclusive economic growth, poverty reduction, and promotion of crisis preparedness and management. And so, the achievement of the Global Sustainable Development Goals cannot be separated from development of human capital. The polycrisis of food and fuel price rise, conflicts, droughts and floods, and COVID-19 have caused huge losses and reduced momentum in the progress made in improving human development outcomes and in building human capital worldwide. Disruptions in essential services have had severe consequences for under 5 and maternal mortality and worsened many people's exposure to diseases. The United Nations has estimated that there would be around, or there was around, 130 million more malnourished children in 2020, and it is further estimated that learning poverty will rise by 10 percentage points to more than 60% in developing countries worldwide, and from 83% to more than 90% in the poorest countries if steps will not be taken now. So these are the staggering statistics that call for urgent holistic and collective interventions. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is trained to enhance its human capital asset. The continent marks the lowest on the average on human capital index among all regions of the world, amplified by the lowest scores of many sub-Saharan African countries, and it is clear that the pandemic, compounded by conflicts, have caused unprecedented disruptions, revealing gaps in our systems and infrastructure that need to be addressed urgently. While our countries appreciate population asset resulting from improved maternal and child health services across the continent, we are constrained with fiscal challenges for children's development and jobs for our youth, following a huge demographic pressure. United Nations reports show that African countries are still facing challenges in meeting the SDGs related to human capital development, in particular education, health and social protection. With the exception of North Africa, target indicators for for other African countries on ensuring quality education stands below the global average levels. Maternal mortality ratios are still high. Availability and sustainability of management of water and sanitation remains a challenge. Progress towards gender inclusivity is slow, and the enforcement of legal frameworks to protect women and girls against discrimination, domestic violence and child marriage, and female genital mutilation remains weak. In overall, progress made by Africa under respective SDGs is unsatisfactory and indicates the risk of not being able to attain the goals by the target year 2030. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, flashing back to our Agenda 2063, Africa has centered human capital development as one of the key flagship themes, with a focus on improving access to contribute to education and healthcare for all, promoting gender equality and women's empowerment, and building the necessary skills to competencies required for the continent's growth and transformation. African Union has targeted to increase the percentage of African children enrolled in pre-primary education to at least 70% by 2025, while also prioritizing investments in higher education, technical and vocational training programs. The moment is now for us to hasten the pace to ensure we realize these goals. Here to affirm that we in Tanzania has already taken off. We have taken various steps to implement the SDGs, so we are now gaining momentum in implementation. All we need is being supported for our journey to prosperity to be safer and smooth, and to make sure that we are landing on the implementation of the SDGs. We are going to give detailed information during the summit in July. But all I have to say is in Tanzania, human capital development has been our priority goals in all our development plans. So we are not as bad as the situation is explained in various reports. We have done a tremendous job, and we are continuing. We need support for us to be able to go smoothly and gently. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are called upon to take immediate measures to address the potential population challenges by immensely investing in our people's health, including water and sanitation, and quality education with proper and necessary skills for human capital development. Our policies should dwell around improving the quality and ability of our people with special focus on human capital development. African leaders don't want to say should begin to think, but should continue to implement investing in African people, focusing on youth and women. And it is in this connection or context that I'm pleased to announce that the 2023 Human Capital Heads of State Summit, jointly hosted by the government of the United Republic of Tanzania and the World Bank, will be held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from 25th to 26th July this year, 2023, and right here at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center. The journey to the summit starts now, and I urge you, all of you, to save the date for this important event. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for participation in this official launch of the summit and encourage all of you to participate in the upcoming Human Capital Summit. You are cordially welcome to the United Republic of Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro, Ngorongoro, Serengeti, and Zanzibar. I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And now it's the time that everybody was waiting for, the official launch of the African Human Capital Heads of State Summit, and it's happening with a star. So, can you all sit down, please? The rest of the can you kindly sit down, please? Because we would like to do this. Honorable speakers, can you kindly sit? Thank you.
On 5.
So that you can all see what's happening. So we're going to have a countdown. 3. So now it has been officially launched. Thank you very much, Madam President. Thank you very much, invited guests. And now this is the end of our program. Can we allow the President to leave for other duties? Karibuni sana, asanteni sana.
Wa TBC1 ni rasmi sasa. Uzinduzi wa maandalizi ya mkutano wa wakuu wa nchi za Afrika kuhusu rasilimali watu umefanyika na kilele kinatarajiwa kuwa ni mwezi Julai hapa katika ukumbi huu wa kimataifa wa mikutano wa Julius Nyerere. Na katika hotuba yake Rais Samia amesisitiza juu ya uhitaji wa bara la Afrika kuwekeza zaidi katika rasilimali watu. Amesisitiza hasa katika vijana pamoja na wanawake. Dunia hivi sasa inaelekea katika mapinduzi ya 4 ya viwanda. Hivyo uhitaji wa rasilimali watu ambayo imejitosheleza katika teknolojia hiyo ni uhitaji mkubwa, na mijadala imekuwa ni mikubwa katika majukwaa mbalimbali hapa nyumbani pamoja na kimataifa. Hivyo msisitizo wake umelenga katika swala hilo, na ameeleza utayari wa Tanzania katika mkutano huo ambapo kilele chake kitakuwa ni mwezi Julai. Ni matangazo ya moja kwa moja kutoka hapa kumbi wa kimataifa wa Julius Nyerere, ambapo ilikuwa ni tukio la uzinduzi wa mkutano wa wakuu wa nchi za Afrika kuhusu rasilimali watu, ambapo kilele kitakuwa ni mwezi Julai hapa jijini Dar es Salaam katika ukumbi huu wa mikutano wa kimataifa wa Julius Nyerere. Kwa niaba ya wote walioshiriki katika matangazo haya, mtazamaji wa TBC1, jina langu ni Alpha Wawa. Pande wa picha alikuwepo Silvanus Mauki, Nicholas Mbaga pamoja na Wasila Fundi. Alikuwa ni Isa Jumanne, Shaban Jumanne, Kaila Sahani pamoja na Shaban Magembe. Mchanganya picha ni Noel Lema, dereva ni Jafari Ibrahim, mwandishi ni Bakari Msuya, mwongoza matangazo ni Festus Makerubi. Mimi ni Alpha Wawa. Endelea kuwa na